let's go over how to add some extra functionality to Fluent CRM. Unlike many SaaS CRM based systems, there are quite a few functions that are missing from Fluent CRM, but no worries, we can add them with a little bit of no code. So on this video, we're going to see how to timestamp a date field and increase the score. Now, initially, the reason why I created this video was because I'm in a couple communities and I've seen this question come up time and time again. There's a lot of people migrating to Fluent CRM and they're looking at how do I timestamp when a certain action takes place. So I'm going to demonstrate it first and then we'll go through how it works. So when I add this tag, count one, all right. Now let's just look at the score and the date here. I'm going to refresh and you'll see that the score incremented and the date changed to today, 12/30/2024 is when I'm recording this. So how did we do it? How did we get here? First off, basically how to set up in the Fluent CRM, the most basic part of this, I should say, is you're going to settings and you're going to custom fields and you want to make sure that you've got two fields. You have the fields that you want to manipulate added, right? Pay attention to the slug. It's always going to be lowercase. And if there's a space, there's always going to be an underscore. You'll need this later, all right? Next is the more complex part and not as straightforward. Make sure that you have a user installed in WordPress that has admin privileges. Actually, they don't need admin privileges, but it's easier. But just install a user on WordPress. Come here to managers and add a new manager. You're going to have to select their email address from here. And then I would hit check all. All right. That's going to give you a manager for Fluent CRM. You need a manager in order to access the API. You do that here. Go to the REST API and we're going to add a key and I'm going to say test again. All right. And I'm going to select that manager, right? The Fluent CRM manager. Remember, user in WordPress first, then a manager tied to that user, then the REST API tied to that manager tied to the user. Okay, that's the order. You'll hit create and you'll see this. It's going to give you a username and a password. All right, save that because it's not going to show it to you again and you're good. You're going to need these later. I'm going to keep this open just so you can see where I would place that. All right, so now we have our setup. We added a tag. What did it do? Well, you want to make sure that you have a automation built that looks for the tag, sends out a webhook. A webhook is how we're going to do the calculations. And then you're going to remove the tag. I just do this so I can run through it multiple times. All right. Every time the tag is added, I want to be able to count one. And if you think through, I'm jumping ahead here, if you wanted to count 2, count 4, count 10, right, you can have additional automations that counted whatever value that was. Right? There's other ways that you can even pass in the count value dynamically to just use one. But for now, let's just focus on what happened here. We sent out a webhook to this address and stuff happened. All right. So where is this webhook? Well, this webhook is here. Right here in a platform for this case, it's called n8n. And what it does is it catches that webhook. If we were to look at both of them, you would see that this webhook is the same. So it catches that webhook and then it does some calculations. All right. So let's walk through the calculations. First and foremost, you're going to need access to Fluent CRM's API documentation. If that's overwhelming to you, then you can emulate what you see on this screen. So you're going to use this exact URL, except you're going to change where mine says gosale.com. This is going to be your domain, okay, that you have Fluent CRM installed on. And then in this body, you see this where it's right after subscribers, it says JSON body ID. Well, based on what is sent in, if this is, I'm going to delete this just so we can see it from scratch. What this URL needs is the ID of the contact. So I can just grab this and drag it over, and there it is. That's how you get that field there. All right. So that's fine, and make sure the method is put. However, you need to authenticate in order to send this webhook. So you're going to go to a predefined credential type, select WordPress. And if I were to create a new one, you'll see username, password, and URL. So I would then go back here, username, password, and then grab the URL. And and that's what I will put. That's what I'll put here. You hit save and you'll be good to go. All right. I'm not going to modify that because I needed it right here. This by default is clicked off. So you'll turn this on. You see that I lost my data here. And then what we'll want to do is just put in all of the values for each one of the fields that we want to send over and update. So let's go over into the Fluent API documentation. I'm under contacts and I want to update a contact. So here's how you see I knew to do a put, and this was the URL. Replace this with my domain, and I'm passing in the ID. And what I want to do is update a contact custom field. Now, it may not be straightforward from here, but what you want to do is come down here to custom values. And you're going to see that you see this custom values and then custom field slug. I'm going to grab that. And I'm going to say, what was the slug? The slug for one was score. I'm pretty sure it was score. Score, right? And here they are right here if you forgot. I'm going to just grab it here to make my life easier. And then I'm going to add another parameter. Custom values. And last time is the name of that one. And I'm going to grab this one. The timestamp is easier than the arithmetic. And I don't want you to get caught up in this actual app because you can use Zapier or Make to do the arithmetic or the time stamping. I'm just showing you how it's functionally done, right? So for here, I'm just going to do a times. I got to go to expression, and I will do this. Just do now, right? So that's going to give you the date that the event took place. All right. Now, if I wanted to go here, I'm just going to show you this in case somebody's watching this that's using n8n. You'll put the score here, and there we go. And what you'll do is you'll type in number, put a parenthesis around the JSON, and then do +1. Okay, so you see that it's going to change this result from 6,012, which is right here, to 6,013. That's old data. We just now can see that it's going to increment, and now we can see what date it's going to leave. All right. So with that being said, I'm all good. Now, I would usually test this, but I don't want to test old data. So what I'll do is I'll come out of here. I'm going to go into the executions. All right. And we're going to go back to that contact. Don't need any of this. By the way, when you're here, you can see that I've got multiple APIs for this person. You could just click this button and then delete it. All right. So that's how you can add multiple API keys to one person and remove API keys. So let me go back to my contact here. And I'm going to, as we see, 12. Let me change this date again. The 15th, update the contact. We come here, add the tag, hit confirm. And when I go here, it should show me another. I mean, it happens so fast. There it is. All right, I did catch this one. Okay, so let's go and see what happened. You see the ID was 1, My point value was 2. The date was the 15th. And what did it do? It changed it to 3, and then it changed the date to the 30th because of these two functions, right? So fairly, again, if you haven't done webhooks and you're not familiar with no-code methodologies and tools, this may be a little bit much for you. So you may have to slow it down and copy and paste and say, hey, wait a minute, what was that again? But if you're fairly familiar with webhooks, you can pull this off right along with me. And since it said it sent it, let's go check that this is 3 and this is 12:30. Hit a refresh. And there we are. 12:30 and 3. So what else can we do? Again, we can create multiple tags. One that says count 1, count 2, count 10, count 3. Or just a bonus, and this will go beyond the breadth of this. But as a bonus, if I go to the editor, check this out. I can go down into now, and if I hit period, look at this. I can add days or subtract days. So if I do plus, and let's just say I want to do 30, days. Okay. This should add 30 days, and it's telling me right now it's going to be January 29th. So it's without me even having to do anything, it's showing me what the result would be based on that formula. This is one of the reasons why I really like this platform. But we're going to close out of here. We're going to hit save. All right. And now when I do count here and hit confirm, this should go up to 4, and this should go all the way up to January 29th. All right. Let's see if it worked. There we go. 4, January 29th. So you're in full control. Once you have this configured correctly, you got to put in the right URL and make sure you're mapping the ID, get your WordPress credentials in there. But after that, you're in full control with how you want to manipulate the data in as many fields as you want. You can do this in 10. You can have scoring for all types of events now within your FluentCRM, or you can timestamp all types of events when they have taken place. You are at no way limited to the amount of custom fields, actions, and activities that you can use to pull this off. So hopefully this was very helpful in showing you how to do a couple calculations in FluentCRM to get more out of it. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments, and see you guys next time online.